Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mukhtar Nabila Abdullah's YouTube channel. This might be a bit too early, but I'm doing it very early because it has to be done. In a way, I thought of bringing it up yesterday, but I thought that it should be done early this morning instead. 2 days ago, I was here to announce that Asamoah decided to retire from the senior national team, that is the Black Stars, permanently. And in his statement of retirement, he indicated that if the coach was going to have someone in there as a captain, whilst he's also part of the team, then he wanted to rescue himself from the senior national team. So following the decision from Asamoah, the media picked it up. Asamoah was trending. Kwasi Appiah was trending. Asamoah's camp came out with reasons claiming that Kwasi Appiah took the decision because um, his spiritual father or a pastor told him that he, if he goes to the tournament with Asamoah as the captain of the team, he was not going to win. First of all, I don't want to say this is untrue because I've got only one side of the story. So if you have only one side of the story, it will be very wrong for you to go publicly and say it is untrue. But what I do know, speaking to several people, is that at no point did Kwasi Appiah um, made it clear to Asamoah his decision to drop him as captain and name Andre Ayew. This is just a confirmation I'm giving to you that Andre Ayew is going to be the captain of the team. I have that preliminary squad, and I'll give it to you in the course of this conversation we are having. You can drop your comments. I'll gladly read them, and you can also make your contributions as to what all this meant. The conversation Kwasi Appiah had with Asamoah had nothing to do with religious grounds. Per what I know, Kwasi Appiah got on the phone to speak to Asamoah, and he told Asamoah, I'd like to have your experience for the AFCON 2019 in Egypt. However, I think that because of your fitness concerns, you might not be able to lead the team as you would. So I think that you should call Andrew and tell Andrew that um, I have led this team so well. You've been there, you've seen it all. But I think I'm at that point where I feel that my fitness concerns wouldn't allow me to be the leader of the team. So I would suggest that you lead the team, but I'll be there to make sure we put together the team, everyone rally around the team and push us to win the AFCON. So he gave us Asamoah the opportunity to think over it and get back to him. Asamoah got back to him and said he was not willing to accept that. And then Kwasi Appiah also said, okay, if you're not willing to accept that, I don't also want to take a risk of taking you to AFCON, knowing that you have fitness concerns. I made this mistake in 2013 with Anthony Annan and Richmond Boachi Yadon, and I'm not willing to make that mistake again. So the decision is yours to make. So um, if you're not going to take it, then fine. That was the conversation they had. Then Asamoah came out with a statement saying that he was retiring from the senior national team because he will not be part of a team as the leader of that team while someone is a captain of that team. So yesterday, the president of the country, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, called for a meeting with Kwasi Appiah. He wanted explanations as to why Asamoah retired from the senior national team. So I understand at 6 o'clock, Kwasi Appiah was in a meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sport, Isaac Esiama. That meeting lasted up to 11:30, 11:40 a.m. From there, he made an organization committee. From the organization committee, then he went to meet the president of the country. In the meeting with the president of the country, um, the president said, according to sources close to the Jubilee House, Kwasi Appiah, all the people who were in the meeting. In the meeting, there was the Interim Management Committee Chairman, Dr. K.K. Sapon, and there was also the president of the Normalization Committee, President, Dr. Kofi Amwa. There was also the presence of Mr. Isaac Esiama, who is the Minister for Youth and Sports. So Kwasi Appiah was asked to give explanations as to why Asamoah Gyan has retired from the senior national team. After making his explanations, the president said, "Okay, I trust in your judgment. You have my backing 100% to go and win the AFCON for Ghana. But there's one political angle that I wouldn't like to touch. The president sought for the permission of Kwasi Appiah to call Asamoah Gyan to tell him that his decision to retire from the national team wasn't the best. So he called. Kwasi Appiah said he was fine with it. After all, he has not asked him to retire. He still wanted to have him. So the president called Asamoah Gyan, and Asamoah Gyan told the president that your decision to retire from the senior national team has caused some national disquiet, and I'd like you to rescind that decision. So Asamoah Gyan, I understand in the telephone conversation, agreed to rescind the decision. So that was what happened at a meeting. Kwasi Appiah had the backing of the president. They spoke to Asamoah Gyan, asking him to rescind his decision, and that they would need him. I understand Asamoah Gyan is going to be in town by the close of the week. So if he's in town by the close of the week, he would meet the president to have further conversation on this. So that was what happened at the presidency. Top of it all is that authority won here. Kwasi Appiah has decided he would do without Asamoah Gyan as the leader of the team for AFCON. But should Gyan avail himself, I think they will consider him. This is what I got from some people close to the technical team. Following what some of the allies of Gyan claimed on radio and on TV on Monday and on Tuesday, it makes it very murky for Kwasi Appiah to rescind his decision to have Asamoah Gyan in the team, because Kwasi Appiah's image have already been bastardized. So it makes it very difficult. And already, if you follow the story, you realize that it will be very difficult for Kwasi to have Asamoah Gyan as part of the team, because the fear is disunity. If Asamoah Gyan claimed he was happy and was part of the team and there was no unity, what about the point that he's now returning as an unhappy man, being part of that team? It's going to be very, very difficult. I think Kwasi Appiah should not rescind his decision to have Asamoah Gyan as the leader of the team. Kwasi Appiah should not take him to the AFCON. That is my opinion. You can never question the qualities of Asamoah Gyan. He scored in nearly every single tournament he's played in. In the last 9 major tournaments Ghana took part in. The last time Ghana played a major tournament with Asamoah Gyan was in the 2006 African Cup of Nations that took place in Egypt. And we knew what happened. We felt his absence. Though he was young and unrefined talent, and the likes of Baba Amando, Enoch Adusi, Matthew Amwa, with his experience, were the ish of that time, we felt the absence of Asamoah Gyan because we lacked goal scorers. We scored only 2 goals in that tournament, and we exited at a group stage. We scored 1 goal against Zimbabwe. We scored another goal in Senegal. The one against Zimbabwe was a consolation, and the other one against Senegal, which was scored by Martin Amwa early on into the game, won Ghana the game. So it gave us only 3 points. Our first game, we lost to Nigeria, courtesy of a free kick from Tai. So we couldn't go past the group stages. But since then, we've been to every single semi-final of AFCON, and we've been to the last 2 World Cups since 2006. The 2014 World Cup is one to forget. Let's forget about it entirely. Let's not bring back old wounds about what transpired. Gyan's qualities with the senior national team is unquestionable, but You will need a united team that will fight for a common goal. And an unhappy Jan in that team wouldn't help. Okay, now let's move on. Let me just bring you a little perspective of other other national teams that have had their captaincy armband taken from them. Vincent Company of Belgium lost his captaincy armband to Eden Hazard. I can't remember him retiring. Chichi of Brazil, when he came in, he took the captaincy armband, handed it to Neymar. He even rotates the captaincy armband in the team. He decides who to wear the captain armband at which game. Henderson, his captaincy armband was given to Hurricane. Mascherano, his captaincy armband was given to Messi. All these players never retired from the national team. There was one angle Jan pointed out, that he spent his own money on the national team to ensure that Kwasi Appiah succeeds and the team under his leadership also succeeds. I felt that was unnecessary. No one asked you to use your own money. And I can remember on authority, you even wanted the money to be refunded. But simply because Andre Ayew also paid for the flight tickets of some players to come down, it was like the two of you were not competing who is the leader of the team and all that. And that was why he did not go back for the money. This we all know. So to create the impression of you spent your own money on the national team, so doesn't mean that we should do you a favor. The national team is not to do anyone any favor. The last 9 major tournaments that Samajan have played for Ghana, you've made more money than what you've invested in that team. So if you come to tell us simple, well, we've done A, B, C, so we are not doing you a favor. You move on when your career is done with the national team. Yes, that is what it is. You cannot hold the nation to ransom because you're not giving the captaincy armband. No. 1,001 people out there need the same opportunity to play for the national team. You have done it for 16 years. It's enough. Thank you. So don't come preaching to us what you. So many people have done. So many players have done so many things for the national teams. George Weah, as we heard, there were times he had to fly the entire Liberian national team for tournament qualifiers. So did he go whining? Imagine if John Mensah had whined that they've given the captaincy armband to you. Suleiman Montaro was still active. Michael Essien was still active. John Prince was still active. All these guys, did they complain? You were the youngest player that they handed the captaincy armband when they were still some senior players. So why would you be whining that? What is it? Fair enough. Now, let me give you the provisional squad that I got yesterday from some members within the technical team. As you probably Osei to Tewia is saying Abedepele and his kids are very jealous people. First it was Kwasi Appiah himself, and now I think Osei to that's a bit too harsh. I think that if they are very jealous people, I think that the national team belongs to Ghanaians. It's not for Abedepele and his family. So whoever is making the decision at which point can make the decision without the use. It is a calling of the person. So if there's anyone who is selfish, then it's a decision maker, not someone who has a say. You and I know very well that when Kwasi Appiah returned, the Ayew brothers played only 2 games against Ethiopia and Congo. He dried them throughout. Until the game against Ethiopia, penultimate game against Ethiopia, and then the other game against Kenya. When we're going to Iceland, to Japan to play friendly matches, he never called them. So it is not the calling of these guys that that they have the opportunity to be with the national team. Yes, we will always say that they are riding on their father's name. That is true. That's unquestionable. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, but I'll finish with this statement. I'll finish with that statement that I was making earlier. But I think that before um, we can say these guys or these gentlemen are selfish, we should also look at the decision makers, those who make the decisions. Now, back to the statement I was making earlier. I was going to bring you the provisional squad I got from the technical team. I understand it's three goalkeepers, not four, as being reported in the Ghanaian media. The three goalkeepers are Richard Ofori, Lawrence Atizigi, and Felix Annan. The defenders are Harrison Affo, um, Baba Rahman. He makes a return to the team for the first time since 2017. There's also a place for Andy Yadom. There's Lumo Agbenyenu. There's Joseph Edu. There's Atama Lawe. John Boy has been dropped from the team entirely. He's not making even the provisional squad. There's also a place for just a moment. I was trying to bring the lineup to you off the cuff, but I am missing out some names. Asamoah has just released a statement. Breaking news. Here he just wrote something. Breaking news coming up from Asamoah is that later today, my manager Samuel Enim Addo will be speaking on my behalf regarding my retirement from the national team. I will also release a statement based on a telephone conversation I had with the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. That is what Asamoah is just tweeting on his handle. Yesterday, I was told to monitor his Twitter handle and that he was going to release a statement and that he was going to rescind his decision of retiring from the senior national team. He has just written on his social media account, that's his Twitter account, saying that his manager, Samuel Enimado, will be speaking on his behalf and he will also release a statement. That is what is coming in from Asamoah. Now, let me go back to the score that I was giving to you. The score I got from I bet the player is always putting pressure on the national team with his influence. That can be true because of what he's done for the country before. So that one, I think it might be true. But now let me go back to the score I was given. Richard Ofori, Lawrence Atizigi, Felix Annan. These are the three goalkeepers. So here are three goalkeepers and not four goalkeepers. And the defenders are, John Boy has been dropped from the team entirely. But the defenders are Harrison Affo, Baba Rahman, Andy Yadom, Lumo Agbenyenu, Kasim Nuhu, Jonathan Mensah, Joseph Edu, Nuhu Musa, Joseph Atama Lawai, and Mohamed Alassan of Accra, House of Oak. The midfielders are Mubarak Wakaso, Thomas Partey, Kwajo Asamoah, Ebenezer Ofori, Afriye Akwa, Andrea Yu, Christian Achu, Owusu Samuel, Thomas Ajipon, Yao Yeboah, and Abdul Fattah Safiu of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The strikers, per my understanding, are Jordan Ayew, Majid Waris, Caleb Ekuban, Kobna Owusu, and Emmanuel Boateng. These are the players that make up the provisional squad. But the breaking news, like I mentioned, is that Asamoah has announced that his manager, Samuel Enim Addo, will be speaking to the media and that he will also be issuing a statement. I can tell you on authority that statement he's going to release is going to be an apology to Ghanaians following his conversation to the president of the country, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, and he's also likely to avail himself for selection for the senior national team. I'll be back here again to update you more. But you can join me on Kwasi TV at 7:05 a.m. I will be bringing you more details of what Asamoah would be saying over there later today. That is all I can bring to you by early this morning, and I think as I mentioned, I'll be giving you some more updates as the issues unfold. Thanks very much for your time. And I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Reach out to a friend, to subscribe to the channel Muftau Nabila Abdullahi on YouTube. I'll always do my best to serve you the best content available. Thanks very much for your time.